Honestly, this is the only reason why I wake up so early. Just so I can see this.
ください。
So this video is gonna be a little on the serious topic. So if you're looking for like a funny video, come back within the week. Ever since I made the depression and anxiety video, a lot of people's been DMing me, pretty much wanting to know how I overcame a lot of stuff and how do I remain so humble and appreciative of everything that's going on. In my life, I've had ups and I've had downs. I've had, losing family to, getting my heart broken, to losing money, to just pretty much everything that, a regular person goes through on a daily basis. I was never the type to smoke. I was never the type to drink. I'm the type that I don't need to be under the influence of anything to, numb the pain. And that's what I was failing to realize when I was at a young age. The type of depression that I have is more depression and bipolar put together. Like, it's a weird combination that, like, it shouldn't be taken lightly. Whenever I would have an episode, I would have to be alone. Like, nobody could be next to me. It's definitely a scary thing to deal with, not knowing when you're gonna have an episode. Truth be told, I've always had depression. I kept on blaming it on, my dad passing away. Like, yo, my depression is getting worse. I miss my dad. Why? What's going on? And I was at that ignorant stage. Like, people die every day. Yeah, that's your dad. And, it's okay to dwell on the situation. But at the end of the day, it's time to move forward because that's what he would want you to do. I'm going through depression probably since my first year of middle school. I wasn't the most good looking guy. I wasn't the most flyest guy. Like, I was a nerd, and let me define nerd. Like, nerd is I love playing video games. I love chilling with my friends. I love, playing catch, doing track, having fun. Any 12, 13-year-old would do. So within time, the depression had been getting worse and worse and worse. And then I was diagnosed with anxiety. The anxiety part, I get it from my mom. She suffers from anxiety her whole life. And that's pretty much understandable. So if you ever see me like sitting down and my leg is shaking, or like I'm always up and about, or if I'm standing still, like I'm rocking back and forth, it's just my anxiety acting up. And I just get the chills and the shivers, and I can't be still, and I like to talk a lot, and my hands start shaking. It's just a lot of things, to deal with. But me personally, I've dealt with it pretty well, honestly. Like, I haven't really did anything, harmful to anybody. Every time I introduce myself to somebody, I always let them know ahead of time, like, listen, I suffer from depression, I suffer from anxiety, so if I ever have an episode, or if I have to separate myself from you for the moment, please understand. But the majority of the people that I met in my life, they pretty much going through the same thing, so I didn't feel so alone in a way. So I was diagnosed when I was 16. From 16 to 20 years old, I didn't miss not even one dosage. I always made sure that I took my dosage in the morning and at night. I just woke up one day and I was just like, yo, fuck these pills, bro. I don't want to live off of this. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be under the influence of painkillers to live my normal life. That's what I was living with for 5 consecutive years. Everything changed. The mood swings were horrible. I barely had an appetite. And everyone that knows me knows that I have an appetite. I'll eat maybe like 4 or 5 times a day. And I just love food. And this is gonna be a little bit explicit, but food is like sex in your mouth. So I wasn't having no appetite. I didn't want to be around anybody. I didn't want to post on social media. I just wanted to be home playing video games. Just didn't want to see what was going on outside. I woke up one day, and this story was recent. This is what pretty much brought me here. I woke up one day, and I woke up with this burst of energy. Like within the 4 to 5 months that I stopped taking the pills, this was the first time I actually woke up with energy. I felt motivated. I felt like I wanted to get up and go do it. And in the midst of everything going on, you pick up bad habits. Me, I picked up smoking cigarettes. Now, I didn't do it for the cigarette itself. I did it for the nicotine. I found out that my body needs nicotine in its system to feel normal. You may be thinking like, bro, you don't need nicotine to feel normal. It's crazy because you do. Certain people that have anxiety, they need that, pretty much that chill button, which is nicotine. Doctors back in the days, they used to prescribe their patients with cigarettes because of the nicotine. It's a stress reliever. At first, I never used to smoke a pack. I would smoke maybe 1 or 2. Then it went up to 4. Then went up to 7. Then it went up to a pack. Within that first month, I was just like smoking cigarettes like crazy because of the nicotine buzz. I stand firm on hygiene, meaning like, personally for me, I like to smell good, I don't like to smell like cigarettes. I don't like the smell of cigarettes. I don't like the taste of cigarettes. In the midst of getting that nicotine buzz, my new cologne was cigarettes. That one day, out of the ordinary, I was off. I didn't work that day. So on my days off, I wouldn't really, smoke anything. I would just do it when I'm under stress at work, when you need that little like chill button. And then I'm on YouTube and when I see a lot of people, vaping. I obviously knew what vaping was. I honestly never thought about getting into it. Ever since I started, pretty much having my vape with me everywhere I go and not having to worry about cigarettes, not having to worry about the smell, not having to worry about having to depend on that for nicotine. I mean, which doesn't make sense because I depend on the vape for the nicotine. But having the vape for me is literally just me just going around, taking a couple of pulls and just feeling good about myself. And you look cool in the midst of it. Long story short, I stopped smoking cigarettes. I went to vaping. Ask me this a couple of years ago. I would never think in a million years at this very moment of my life I would be living off of nicotine. You can get very addicted to nicotine. That's why a lot of people are addicted to cigarettes. A lot of people try to stop, but they can't. That's why they, either get the gums or the patches. Regardless of whatever you get, whether it's the gum or the patch, you're still infusing nicotine in your system. So regardless of anything, you're still going to want to smoke. You're still going to want to get that boost of nicotine. Finally, answer your question. How did I get off? The only thing I can honestly tell y'all is how I got off. Literally, that's the only thing I can tell y'all. Because I cannot sit here and say my advice and what I did is going to benefit everybody else. Because everybody else has different opinions and different things that they're going through. And maybe they need those pills to, live their day-to-day life. Me, I have a thick skull. So I honestly don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do whatever makes me happy. So me waking up that day saying, you know what, I'm done taking these pills. I'm tired of taking these pills. It benefited me, but it might not benefit you. But one thing before I go is be humble and stay cozy. If y'all honestly need somebody to talk to, my DMs are always open. My Instagrams is in the link in the bio. Just hit me up. Let me know what's going on and maybe I could help you. Maybe I could, give you some advice. But if you're looking for advice from this video, I mean, maybe you went through the same thing I'm going through and you could benefit off of that. But honestly, I can't personally give you a straight up answer because I'm no one to sit here and say, yeah, say fuck those pills. I can't. I'm not no doctor.